Yes, I think. Let me do the magic. Save. Let's do the magic. It's going. Let me see. Just a few seconds, and we are gonna go live.
Okay.
Yes. Now it's okay. Let me close this. Let me close this. Let me check if in the other is okay. Yes, excellent. Hello, this is Bitcoin Libertarian, and we are back after a long time with Gemmy, Gem Crypto. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing great. Thanks for having me again.
I think the last time, I went to visit you at Roxon TV Studios, and I think the last time I talked to you in my channel was when I was in Argentina.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and I went to Abu Dhabi. I don't know, like a month ago. So it's been a while.
No. I think that a month ago I went to the Roxon studio, but the last time you were in my channel, I think I was in Argentina. Bitcoin was still over 100K, and after that it crashed. So, how was your trip to Abu Dhabi?
It was amazing. I mean, I love Abu Dhabi and met a lot of amazing people. And they are quite innovative when it comes to the whole crypto adoption and the whole AI thing. Like when you talk with the loco there, they are really interested in knowing what you're doing, especially in the whole new digital stuff. Because like when I told them that I'm from Hong Kong, they're not so much interested in the whole real estate aspect, but they were like, oh, what about the AI aspect or the whole digital assets seen in Hong Kong? So I find that very interesting.
Nice, but I don't see many huge AI innovations here in Hong Kong. I think that all the AI stuff is on the other side of the border, is in Shenzhen. But yes, I never been. And how about the conference? Because I saw you interviewing people. I saw you very active during the conference. Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, I talk with different builders. They focus on building a community around the Bitcoin network. So it was really fun. And yeah, but I attend different crypto events as well. So not only Bitcoin stuff, like Bitcoin stuff, I only focus on the Bitcoin miner. And then like after the main conference, there are different crypto events hosted by different communities. So I went to check out a little bit and I'm very fortunate and managed to find some wine, which is quite difficult in Muslim country. So like very fortunate it was during a crypto event. So yeah, I had my fun.
Yeah, I remember when I went to Dubai, I think 2024, I went to Dubai, and I remember I went to a restaurant with some friends, a friend that lived there, and I sit down and I say, okay, I want to drink a beer or wine. No. And the last day we were in Dubai with Diego, you know Diego, and we had bought a whiskey bottle on the free shop, and we ran out of whiskey, and was the last afternoon, and I said, okay, let's go for some drinks. I went to the supermarket to buy beer or something, and they didn't sell any drinks at the supermarket. So
Yeah, I mean, I went to some local restaurant and then they were serving me some 0% alcohol beer, and I was like, "Do you have something with the actual beer?" And then they were like, "No, this is the only beer that I had." That was the first sip of a non-alcoholic beer I've ever tried in my entire life, and
it's
it was
horrible.
better than I expected, I would say. No?
I'd rather, if I have to drink non-alcoholic beer, I'd rather drinking Coke or Sprite or whatever, or water,
Yeah,
instead of
exactly.
non-alcoholic. It's like when you go to a vegan restaurant and you eat some plant-based meat. It's like there
Yeah,
is no
yeah.
way. There is no way. So, and the conference itself was bigger, similar to the one in Hong Kong.
I would say pretty much similar, but of course, the people who go to Abu Dhabi, it might be like a lot more westernized. So it's a good opportunity to meet people from not only the East, but also from the West.
Excellent. So what do we have today? I think that we have to discuss about Bitcoin, because are we in a bear market? Are
Of course,
we
we
in a bull market? Why? Explain me. Do you have any graphics to show?
Yes, like although I didn't come prepared. Wait, let me quickly search for the chart that I was gonna show. If I could share my screen, just like wait, give me a second.
No problem.
I haven't really set this up properly. So wait, share screen, share. Okay, there you go. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen. Yes.
All right. So the reason why, because like last time we did a live stream, I remember I told you that some of my friends were selling at the top, because like it was like even in September we were doing this live stream, and I was telling you that my friends were selling in September. The reason why they did this, it was following the 4-year cycle. So ends up like the 4-year cycle is being so intact. The reason why is because we have this cycle top happened exactly on 6th of October. Those exactly following the 4-year cycle. But like people don't like to believe the truth because they happen to think that the cycle is different. Okay, in a way, it is slightly different because we have diminishing return, because like we are on a weekly chart right now. If we zoom out, we do have like this diminishing return. So the return is not as crazy. However, we also have this like diminishing uh, pullback line. So it's rising. So it's the point being the volatility is not as crazy as any previous cycle. So in a way, they are right, but in a way, it's still following exactly the same cycle that we have been seeing in the past 3 times. So going back to answering your question, why we are in a bear market, what I've done is that I put up the 50-week moving average and also 200-week moving average. So just focus on these 2 lines. The blue line is the 50-week, and then the red line is the 200-week. And we are looking at the weekly candles right here. And there's a technical indicator that it has never failed us. So what that is that if we zoom closer, if we end up seeing 2 weekly candles closing below the 50-week, so 50-week being here, that was back in 3rd of November, and we were sitting at 103K. So if we have 2 weekly candles closing below the 50-week moving average, so here that happened on 10th of November, because like touching, it doesn't count. So here it was just a week. So sorry about the horrible drawing. So this week on 3rd of November, it was just a week because we closed right here. We closed at 104K. So that doesn't count. But if we have 2 weekly candles, so being here, closing below the blue line here, that is a technical bear market. So there is no argument there. And whenever we have 2 weekly candles below that, zooming out, that happened back in December 2021. So we closed, there are 2 weekly candles closing below the 50-week moving average. So this is a technical bear market. So when we saw the cycle top, so in the previous cycle, that was 69K, and then we dropped all the way to 15.4K or 5K, depends on which exchange you look at. So we dropped from 69K to 15.5K. That was a 77% reduction or correction. So this is what we saw in the previous cycle. However, going back to your question, I agree with you, the cycle is different. So I don't think this correction is going to be as severe as the previous cycle that we saw. Like, even though if we take the 200-week moving average, being the red line over here, So like going from the cycle top, so being 126K down to, let's take it to the current 200-week moving average being 57K right now, which I don't think is going to be going down that much. It's only going to be a 54% correction. So yeah, in a way, I agree with the super cycle guy that this cycle is different, but like I still need to look at the charts instead of throwing some narratives to explain where Bitcoin is possibly going.
And what do you think that of the closing of the year being red? Like, because we broke the pattern, green, green, red, green, green, red. Now we have green, green, red. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like as I mentioned, there are signs that okay, the 4-year cycle, it might not be completely intact, but like zooming out, since Bitcoin's following exactly the same pattern that we predicted, because as I told you, like even in September, we're gonna see a cycle drop on 6th of October, and that happened to play out perfectly well. What this proven is that history doesn't repeat, but it often rhyme, because so far it's following like, if you could see the chart, it's just like the diminishing return and the diminishing correction. That's what we have seen. So far, it looks like the 4-year cycle is still being so intact. Like I know people like to say, okay, this cycle is different because we didn't top on euphoria, we top on apathy. Like in a way, I agree, but like until this completely broken, that I'm still standing very strongly to believe that this is still very much intact. Like if we end up seeing a cycle, a new all-time high before October 2026, then okay, like the 4-year cycle is completely broken. And yeah, then maybe we're gonna have to do some other calculation. But until then, like up until 13th of January, this is still playing out rather well. What you told me is just like it proven that history doesn't repeat, but is rhyming.
Yes, I think that this I never bought the cycle narrative because it's like just 4 data points. We had 3 previous cycles. So in statistics, we need at least 500 to put this on top. And I think that this year was strange because or this let's call it cycle since the last bear market. Uh, in the last cycles, we didn't have any companies, any. There was mostly retail and sailor buying. Now we have sailor, and now we've been all the way with QT. United States was in quantitative tightening. This finished on December, on the first week of December. So United States is easing the printing of money, is injecting money on the market. And Trump, you know what is happening with Jerome Powell. Trump is pushing Jerome Powell to keep reducing the rates, the interest rates. So that's why I think I want to show you that. I think that we are just finishing a kind of a bear market, but not because you are measuring in US dollars. I don't like the graphics, but if you see in gold, check the evolution of Bitcoin in gold. If we come here, was in December 2024, Bitcoin got all-time high in gold. Since then, we have like more than 50% of reduction. And here, if we follow the graphic theory, seems that the crash is stopping with gold. What I think is most of the people who bought gold are going to be taking profits and probably moving to other assets. I think that quantitative easing in United States policy is going to put a lot of money on the market, and this is always good for risk on assets. And also Sailor is buying again. Like there is no tomorrow. So I think that the bear market was 2025. That's my idea. The bear market was 2025, and we are almost ready to start going up. And many other graphics and macro indicators shows that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so going back to the narratives that you just put out, like the rate cuts, like I would argue in 2022, we're in a rate hiking environment, yet we still managed to break new all-time high. So I would argue, like looking at the data, the correlation between the federal fund rates and the Bitcoin's price. So, like, is this a self-fulfilling prophecy that people like to put out for some narratives? Because I strongly believe narratives follow price. Like, if you ask me today, I do not know what's going to happen, like what sort of like narratives people like to allocate to Bitcoin's price movement just to justify where Bitcoin is going in a kind of sensible way. Like price always moves first because price are very sensitive. And looking from basically mathematic, like I'm seeing the pattern and then I'm seeing that every single cycle is kind of repeating the same, like we have the same date, we have the same deadline. We know that, okay, after about 3 months of downward movement, like the 3 consecutive months of redness, negative return of Bitcoin's return since October 2025, then January more likely we're going to end up with a green month. So this is the patterns that I'm spotting. I did not know what the narrative is going to be. Like we were doing this live stream back in September or back in August, and then what the charts is telling us, okay, is flashing some signs that, okay, the bullish momentum is dying down, but I did not know what the narrative is going to be. That's what math was telling me. That's what the charts were telling me. And then after that, like people like to allocate some narratives to just to justify and make sense where Bitcoin is going to. Like this is the magic of math, in my opinion, because like straight after 6th of October, we like to allocate some narratives. For example, like we like to allocate that 10th of October, there was some market makers trying to manipulate the market, only that they got wrecked. So one being Wintermute. So this is the narratives like people would like to allocate. We still do not have a proper explanation what went wrong on 10th of October. But like again, these are the narratives people like to allocate after Bitcoin went down so much already. So it's probably because of that. But is it really because of that? Like going back to the rate cuts explanation, like I would argue, like back in 2022, beginning of 2022, where like we know the Jerome Powell gonna hike rates, but like even before that, Bitcoin was crashing. So we topped in November 2021. So people like to allocate those narratives. So point being, like, is okay if that is really reflected on the chart on the math, then yeah, sure. But like right now, I'm afraid like all the numbers is not pointing out that we are in a bull trend.
Yes, can be. Let me show you the power law. Let's talk about the power law. What the power law is showing. 1 second, I will share my screen. So here is the graphic of the power law. And if I do the zoom out on this area, can you see it? Can you see? You see, yeah. we see like 2011, yes, here. We see that the fair price of Bitcoin today would be 118K. And we are in, well, yesterday closed 91, let's say. So, and see that the area, usually it tends to go up. Usually the price is going to go back to the trend line. What do you think about the potential price if we are in a bear market? Which price can be the bottom of the cycle?
Wait, bottom of this cycle as in October 2026, or what do you mean?
Yeah, that's because if we are in a bear market, I think that price will keep going down.
So for this cycle, like as I mentioned, like after breaking 50 week, we're going to 200 week. Right now, it's sitting at 57K, although I don't think we're going to dip to 57K because the 200 week will likely catch up slowly. So until the time that we got to October 2026, we could be looking around 60K-ish or like 62K, like looking at the chart right now, so somewhere around that. So I'm looking at a bottom around October 2026 at around 60K-ish.
So do you think that we are gonna, previous to that, because many analysts say that we probably will go to 100K or probably over 100K and then go all the way back down to, many people say 50, 30, crazy numbers.
Yeah, that is very much likely. That is exactly what I'm seeing in the chart as well. And because I've talked about this like numerous times in my live show on Gem Crypto, like even after losing the 50-week moving average to two consecutive weekly candles, it's very much we're still going to have a relief rally. So we could still go back. Like I'm looking at right now, maybe we could go back to 101K, but this is still a technical bear market. Like even if we go up in the next coming weeks or till February, but this is still a technical bear market. Like even if we rally to 101K, I have my doubt if we manage to stay above that before like heading lower. But like this is a slow grind. It's not going to be like going to go straight to 60K in, I don't know, in February. It's not like that because it slowly goes down week by week on a weekly candle. So it's in my opinion, this is a slow grind to the bear market, and we are only at the second stage of the bear market, being a relief rally we're seeing right now.
Yeah, let's see. I think that let me disagree with that. But again, it's like nobody knows the future. Nobody knows what can happen. I think that that again, I like to repeat that based on the price of gold, because measuring Bitcoin price on price of gold, measuring the power law, being Bitcoin out of the going down from the power law trend, I would like to say that the bear market was 2025. And now there are a lot of macro indicators again that show us that price should go up. And I don't know, but I do agree with you that if it goes down, cannot go down to these crazy numbers of 30K. I heard about 10K or crazy numbers. I had a guy from in my show in Spanish that he says that if we go down, we can. He also says that we are in a bear market, and probably the peak, the bottom of the bear market is going to be around 60 something, because it's the cost of mining one Bitcoin from the miners. So I think that this is the way. And how can people get prepared for the bear market? In your point, in your opinion.
It depends on your, because I personally I like to separate my trading account into long-term and short-term mentality. So long-term wise, it doesn't matter. Like if you buy at this prices or even 200K per Bitcoin, like long-term wise, I know Bitcoin's going to go up because it's gold. So I really long-term mentality, I don't care. Like you might as well enter right now, or like even though Bitcoin dropped to somewhere ridiculous, I don't know, like 50K, like long-term mentality, I'm not worried. Like long term, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. like period. But like short-term wise, if you are looking for some quick money, then it makes sense to de-risk a little bit, maybe sell a little bit, and especially altcoins. Because like personally, my trading strategy right now, like you need to separate long-term and short-term. You need to know what you're doing. Like otherwise you're gonna got wrecked by the market. And like if you haven't de-risk and you need the money, I strongly think that maybe it's a good time to de-risk a little bit. Like when you see a good exit point and exit price, then it makes sense to de-risk a little bit. Like that's only for Bitcoin. But like if you hold any altcoins, like it makes sense to, like when you see a good price, then maybe exit. But like if you are down significantly on your altcoins positions, like you are selling $1 for 10 cents, then maybe like you might as well just hold on to your altcoins because it's down 90% already. But like in that case, like what I would do is that I would short altcoins. And right now it's doing really well, like shorting altcoins, because like altcoins are like more than 70%, they are on a bear market, like more than 70%. So against Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, we know most of the altcoins are going to zero. So like for some reason, like, okay, if you like money, if you like trading like me, then it's sensible to actually, like, shorting altcoins is easier to make money than buying altcoins. It's just like, if you don't like money, forget what I say. But like if you think the strategy makes sense, I think like the risk a little bit, like is a great thing after all.
Yes, I don't have any altcoins. So the thing is that, yeah, I don't. It's like I'm not. Do you think, talking about altcoins, because this is all the narrative, that the old season? Do you think the old season will come any day, or we are not gonna see any old season, and all the altcoins except few of them that have usage will go to zero?
Yeah, so we were hoping for an alt season after 2021, and right now it's 2026. Yet we did not see any alt season. So a lot of DJs out there are very disappointed. And yeah, I mean, a lot of narratives came and go. Like we saw the whole like AI agent minias for the whole AI crypto narratives, and then we saw meme coins, but it was like it lasted for like weeks, like some altcoins maybe less than a week, and before crashing down. So like it makes a lot more sense, and this is like a lot more, I would say, easier money for me to short altcoins than finding those so-called 100x gems, because like this narrative flips so much. And then like um not to mention right now, okay, crypto is in a bear market. Bitcoin, I think, is in a bear market. But like if you look at other assets, if you look at stock markets, if you look at gold and silver, they're all going, like reaching new highs, so new all-time high. It's just like crypto is like right now we have deviated for months for some reason, and this is not normal. And usually like crypto would do vice versa, like crypto would do I don't know, 10x, and then all the retails would just like go to crypto and try to find that so-called gem. But that's not what we saw in this market. So like going back to your question, alt season or not, like despite everything going up, like despite the Federal Reserve is cutting rate gradually, not rapidly, we're still not seeing that effect in crypto markets. So yeah, like alt season, like narratives, it could flip really fast because I have been in crypto long enough to know that. But like after waiting for years, like since 2021, I'll say if you have long-term mentality, just like buy Bitcoin is much easier. Like despite Bitcoin might go to 200K a coin tomorrow, like buying Bitcoin, it still makes sense long-term wise. Like altcoins, as I mentioned, 99% of the coins that we see today were very likely not going to be around in the next cycle. So like the chances of you finding that 100x is so much more difficult. So there are two plays you could do, like buy Bitcoin and you can manage to get some sleep. Like you can enter whatever price you want. Altcoins, like you still manage to find that gem, but it's like 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. So it's very much like by luck. Not saying that you can't do this. It's just the possibility is a lot lower comparing to just DCA into Bitcoin. Like for altcoins, it makes more sense to me. Like if I have to convince myself logically and make money in altcoins, it makes more sense to short altcoins because like we know most of the altcoins would go down anyway. So shorting altcoins is like the most logical thing to me, yet people are not doing. I don't know why. So yeah.
Yes, of course, none of this is not financial advice. Of course, I like the your point because you give another angle of me. I am more like a guy of Bitcoin DCA and not trade or always long trades like in stock markets like Tesla, Strategy, Nvidia, stocks that not because I'm not good at trading. That's the point. And if you do DCA, as you said, with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is gonna go up forever. So uh, probably you make you lose a lot of time trying to find when is gonna go when is gonna see the bottom. That at the end of the day, in 10 years time, it's not gonna be. Doesn't matter if you bought at 100, at 60, or 200K. In 10 years time, it's gonna be a huge amount of money if you hold Bitcoin. And also not about money. It's about keeping and increasing your purchasing power, because money, probably you can say Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million, but I don't know, probably a glass of wine cost $100,000. I don't know. So that's the point. So anyway, and what do you think about the things that happened lately on the world? The capture of Maduro, the Iran revolution, can it affect in some way? Because the capture of Maduro didn't affect too much the price of Bitcoin. Now we have problems in Iran, and Trump is also saying that we'll attack Iran. What do you think about all these things that are happening in the world?
I think Venezuela, Donald Trump is actually a really smart businessman because there are only pros, but without any cons for the US side of things. Like, first of all, Donald Trump, he managed to kill three birds with one stone. Like he managed to keep all the oil, like all the oil reserves from Venezuela. Second is that he managed to give a huge slap to Russia and also to China. And then that is that he managed to scoop in right now and be the hero of Venezuela, because like the Venezuelan people, they have been suffering for more than a decade because of hyperinflation, and within the country they can't even go to supermarket to get everyday groceries. So the situation within the country is very severe. So it's very, I would say, very strategic of Donald Trump to pull that move to, I would use the word of attack Venezuela. So of like attacking Venezuela and capturing the president. So it's actually um from a businessman side of thing, like a point of view, is very, there are only pros but no cons at all. So it makes sense for the United States to do this. And Iran, like if you ask me personally if they are gonna attack Iran, like personally I feel like the chance is lower compared to Venezuela, because Iran is a much bigger country, and geographically speaking, Iran is covered by mountains. So, like attacking Iran, like how they did to Venezuela, is going to be a lot more difficult. And Iran is very military prepared compared to Venezuela. Like I know the situation's quite similar, like the collapsing currency, the protest and unhappy citizens within the country, and then being sanctioned by the West for years. So a lot of this, like, they share similarities with Venezuela, but like military attacking Iran looks like compared to Venezuela, the chances are a lot slimmer. But again, I'm not from the Trump family, so I really don't know what Donald Trump gonna pull next. But like looking at everything on paper, like it looks like the chance of attacking Iran might be a lot slimmer. Maybe like it's not as soon as Venezuela because they managed to capture that guy within months. So that within minutes, that is really impressive. But like Iran, like I really don't know. Right now, Donald Trump is pulling financial sanction, and let's see if how that financial pressure is going to apply to Iran.
Yeah, I think that the Venezuela thing, it's gonna add a lot of oil. Now they need to rebuild the country that was destroyed by the dictatorship of Maduro and Chavez at the beginning, and now he's focusing on Cuba, on Cuba. Also, it's having issues with Mexico and Colombia. So let's see what can happen. It's like a funny world that we are living in now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And Donald Trump did surprise everyone when they captured the Venezuela's president. And yeah, because I remember I was like uh, on my holiday, and I was like, wait, my headline's just like, what's going on? I was like, is this some spam post on Twitter or like whatever?
Yeah, the funny thing is that I saw this on Twitter on, like, probably it was in the afternoon of Saturday afternoon, and like 1 hour after that, I was on a stream with a Venezuelan guy that is living in Spain, and of course he hates Maduro, and he was super happy. Yeah, to be honest, I think that is good for Venezuela people that United States took off this dictator, because it's like destroyed Venezuelan economy, destroyed Venezuela people. 8.5 million people left Venezuela. I know in the crypto community of Argentina and Latin America, you find a lot of people from Venezuela that escaped from the country because they had no choice, and they went into Bitcoin and crypto because they didn't have any other choice when they were living in Venezuela. So let's see what happened now. Trump recovered. Let's see now it started the recovering of the country. Now we'll start the investment to take out the oil, because the oil reserves of Venezuela are, I think, the biggest of the world. So let's see what can happen. To be honest, it's crazy, but I don't know what can happen. So, Gemmy, anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much all we've discussed. All the topics we want to discuss, I think.
Excellent. So thank you very much for being here. Let's, I don't know, next week if you have time. But anyways, anytime we can catch up and talk about Bitcoin. Although you are Bear, I have this, my friend.
Oh, nice. I like it.
We are super bullish here, but yeah, let's see. Again, like, nobody knows what can happen, and nobody knows. I think that the conclusion for the people on the other side, you can see that Gemmy has her vision based on her data that worked for her. I have my vision following my data, but at the end of the day, nobody knows what can happen. The best way is doing DCA. Don't do crazy stuff. Don't use leverage, because if you do that, you can lose money. If you do DCA, you can sleep at night. If you like trading like Gemmy, you can do other things. But again, if you're not good at trading like me, just DCA and sleep well at night. So, Gemmy, thank you very much for your time. What is your social media?
Yeah, do follow me on Twitter. So my Twitter is gemcrypto_io. My YouTube channel is gemcrypto, and so is my Instagram.
Excellent. Any news from your old Twitter?
No, I have to say I'm very disappointed with Elon Musk.
No, what's that? Well, you know what happened? A funny thing. You said this. I want to point this. Yesterday, Argentina president, that his very close friend. And I won't say that he's friend, but he's very close with Elon Musk. He met many times. He says that Elon Musk is a genius, and he opened a Twitter account in English, the Argentinian president. And after 2 hours, the account was blocked. But now he recovered it. Now he recovered it. Yes, I think that was the opposition that made an attack and they blocked the account. But if the Argentinian president was blocked, what is left for us? So, anyways, so if someone engaged from the I didn't see anymore this account, probably because he or she blocked me. But if someone that is not gemcrypto_io contact you, is not Gemmy.
Yeah, I will never DM people, so just be very careful.
Excellent, Gemmy. So let's talk then, and let's see you next week, and have a good day.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here, and thank you for everyone who is on the other side. If you like the episode, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Gemmy's channel too, and follow us on social media. Share this episode with the people you love. Share this episode with the people you hate, because we must reach 8 billion people and give them the orange pill. See you in the next episode of our podcast. Stay humble, stack sats, and remember, we are all